This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while shuddering at the memory of 2010's body dysmorphia.
Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs, thank you for joining us back in the craziness that is HBHQ. We're back to go through the plot, tropes, character development, and all our feelings about the second half of Lick by Kylie Scott. First, though, I get to shout out some amazing supporters on Patreon. Welcome and a huge thank you to Robin J, Molly B, Shannon H, Savannah, Janita 2006, Katie T, and Michelle OR. We love all of our listeners equally, but the direct support of patrons is truly amazing and keeps the lights on over here. When we left you yesterday, our couple just had a let's stay married sexual ceremony that they thankfully didn't invite Elvis to. I don't think anyone needed that. But we could barely give it any time because of the drama we're about to get into. Here's the second half of Lick by Kylie Scott. So the next day, he keeps on going downstairs to disappear and do music. And she's totally cool with that. She's helping Pam unpack all of his boxes, which also hey ladies, this is his house. Make him do it. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bored anyway, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, and then it's dinner time and she ends up having a chat with Pam because Pam explains what it's like being with a musician who has a passion like this kind of situation and how to handle it and blah, blah, blah. And finally, Pam's like, let's go get some dinner. The boys are still going to be hiding down there doing their music stuff. So we'll go get some food and you can see Monterey, basically.
And we'll bring it back for them, too. They're going on a food run. Okay. Yeah. And so she is like, all right, I don't have his number. I can't text him. Also, my phone is dead. She goes down to tell him where they're going, but the red light is on. Everybody's busy. She doesn't want to fuck up a recording. So she goes upstairs, leaves him a note on the kitchen bench, and then she and Pam leave. And listener, you might say to yourself, Melanie, why would you cut Sabrina off for those details?
It's important for those details. I was going to get to those. It was just a later date that I was breaking them.
So they go to this bar and the food's going to take a little bit longer. And so Pam's like, let's get a beer and maybe dance a little. It'll be super fun. And it's a country bar. And so she's like, finally, music I like. I'm excited about this. They go out on the dance floor. They're just doing regular dancing stuff. Pam's getting twirled by a dude.
She has a very respectful dance with one guy, and then he leaves. And then another guy comes up to dance, and he's being significantly less respectful. He's not interested in her, no. And so he's like, come on, little lady. And she's like, this little lady won't come on, no. Thank you,
she's
please.
Just getting in position so that she can knee him in the balls.
And then out of nowhere, the fury of stupid men.
Jilted husbands, yeah.
Come out of left field and clocks that man right in the face with his fist.
And it's a full-on brawl now. It's a bar brawl now. They drag him out.
Oh my God.
She's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's get in the car. Let's go." I don't even think they get the food. Like, Pam goes back to her house. So now I need everybody to know that she's going to be fucking hungry, okay? Because they don't have any food at the house. And when they get home, Mal, like, immediately peels off and goes to do his own thing. And then he stomps up to his bedroom, and she's like, maybe, I guess it's our bedroom. So she follows him, and he immediately turns around and he says, "This is you giving us a chance." And she's like, "What? Yes. What are you talking
they
about?"
end up in a huge fucking argument because David, shocker, we already kind of knew this, but he has woman issues.
Traumas.
And like history of being abandoned and blah, 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 blah.
And
blah,
cheated
blah.
on.
And cheated on. I mean, that's what I'm counting. But yeah, it's a whole thing. And he is taking all of them out on Evelyn right now.
Yep.
Like, he has trust issues because of his history. And he is berating her, and she's coming
Yelling.
right back at him about it. And
Mhm.
it's good. Good for her. Don't fucking let him walk all over you like this. Because she's like,
Yeah.
you don't, and she tells him this. She's like, you don't get to take out your past traumas on me.
Yeah.
You are getting mad at me for something that I have not done.
Yeah.
You are punishing me for something that I have not done.
I am not
How
responsible
dare you?
for it. And she says, like, he's like, "Oh, yeah, well, you just, like, left and why didn't you tell me?" And she's like, "Here are the 3 ways in which I tried and the 2 in which I did, you know? And, like, it's not my problem that you didn't look for a note. It's written." And finally, he's like, "Okay, I guess so."
Well, because he went to the worst possible
Oh, yeah.
conclusion, showed up, had it proven to him, quote unquote,
Yeah.
because she was dancing with another guy.
And she's like, "I was just about to disentangle myself. Like, I had told him no, and he didn't listen. This
Mhm.
is not my fault." And then suddenly they're kissing.
Now that's angry sex time. It always boggles my mind.
I don't
in
understand
books.
this.
I know, you and I are the same like this, because
Yeah.
like and this happens, this is a thing people do, but like
Yeah.
they get angry, they have a fight, they don't really come to a conclusion, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're just having angry sex on the floor. And
Yeah.
I was like, it was hot sex, but I
Yeah.
was like,
Very
I
hot.
couldn't be me.
Would be the Sahara after he talked to me like that. Like, there's
Oh, yeah.
no...
Absolutely. There's no way that you are touching this body.
No, you're going to need to do a big grovel before you get access to any of this. But yeah, he's banging her on that floor. They end up like
It's
falling
doggy,
off
it's
the bed.
aggressive and fun, and it's
Great.
is
But
what it
like
is.
also, hey, Ev, this is not a great precedent to set at all. This is not a good pattern to start.
This
This
entire
is not great.
book is basically a how to not start a relationship is what this book is. Not how to like
Yeah. Yikes.
Anyway, but they end up like after sex, they end up like taking a bath together and like
Yeah.
having a big
He
intimate
cares for
moment and
her.
like discussing their relationship and their trust issues.
And she tells him,
He
"I
doesn't
will
tell
wait
her.
for you to tell me like what you're comfortable with." And she knows in her mind she has to earn that level of trust. So the next
Mhm.
day, she's like making pizza and he is still in the recording booth. And she finally calls her best friend Lauren to check in. It's been like way too many days after you disappeared into an LA mansion with a man with way more money than you and more power. And like, I would be way more mad than Lauren is in this moment. But anyway,
Why would Lauren
is
be mad?
dickmatized,
She
though.
is. I was just gonna say, not only is she dickmatized, but like this is also her favorite musician.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
I would not have this same reaction.
Yeah, I don't think that those personas cross for me. if that makes sense.
It's very clear that for Lauren, it does this entire book.
Yeah.
This is on brand for that character to not be that worried about it.
But that's kind of wild to me because, like, the public face of a celebrity, you don't know them. And I don't understand people who are like, I've followed them for years, I know them. Like, Lauren, you have no fucking clue. You know some tiny tidbits that could be true, could be not, could be spun, whatever.
I'm just saying that
this is bananas.
That the way that Lauren is characterized, I'm not shocked at all that she's not upset about this.
Yeah. She's like, tell me everything. And then she's like, let me tell you everything. She tells her that he was cheated on by his high school sweetheart. And that was the big breakup that led to the best album of their, like, oeuvre. And she says that the Monterey House, there's a song named after the Monterey House, the one that she's standing in, because he bought it for those two to live in together. Tells her that his mom abandoned them when he was like a teenager. And she's standing there.
Stop. She's like, I need you to stop. I don't want to know all of this information.
I don't want to find out this way. I want to find out organically in our relationship. This feels like a huge breach of privacy, even though it's public knowledge.
And that in and of it, boy, I could go on a rant.
Yeah.
About celebrities and their right to privacy.
Absolutely.
You know? Like, anyway, but she ends up stopping the conversation. She's like, this is it. I don't want to know anymore. And she ends up, I loved this. She ends up confessing it to him. Because she goes in, it's dinner time, they're gonna make dinner together, and she...
Also, this is how I make pizza. I don't know, how do you feel about the pizza she makes? Because it's like a kitchen sink pizza. There's every vegetable we have in the house. There's broccoli, there's mushrooms, there's onions, there's garlic, there's green peppers, there's 3 kinds of meats, there's 3 kinds of cheeses. And Mal later comes up and he's gonna be like, ugh, you can't put vegetables on pizza, but, like, this is the pizza I make for myself at my house. I mean, I guess that should shock no one, right? Since I'm a very more is more person. This is the pizza she makes. How do you feel about the pizza she makes?
With broccoli and all the vegetables and deliciousness on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so you're on the right side of history.
I am pro broccoli pizza. People who say that blank doesn't belong on a pizza, and I don't care what you're saying doesn't belong on a pizza. Anything can go on a pizza.
Sure, man. Sure. I might not eat it, but yeah, sure, man.
It is dough that you are putting things on top of it. Historically, globally, you can put anything in or on or around a dough, and it's going to be tasty.
It's true. Dough is the unifier, right?
Mm-hmm. It really is. But yeah, that's the one unifying thing in this universe, unless you're gluten intolerant, in which case
you can still make dough.
We're gonna make you a different dough.
Different kinds of dough.
Different kinds of dough. Boy, a cauliflower crust. I say that, but like, boy, I love a cauliflower crust pizza.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So she tells him, and he's like, are you sure you didn't just, like, Google me? And she's like, no, I really promise I didn't.
Well,
I don't want to know this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really beautiful because this is just proof that she really doesn't give a shit.
No.
That he's a famous musician.
Mm-mm.
Like, she likes him because of who he is as a person.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
But very notably is, like, he confirms some things and then clams up and makes it clear that he doesn't want to talk about it because he wants to have date night. He keeps on doing this to her. He keeps on being like, yeah, I freaked out over that thing. It's really not a big deal because now we can do date night and we can get to know each other. And then, like, that won't be an issue in the future. David, that's not how that works. Anyway, so they lock Mal downstairs in the recording studio prison. And and she ends up blowing him.
Have sex on and they almost have sex on that kitchen floor.
Yeah, they do.
It's delightful.
Is this when he asks whether she'd be okay going bare?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
And she's like,
Because-
I don't know. And he's like, think about it.
Yeah, because they do
So-
have an explicit conversation about
Mm-hmm.
going there. And I loved that she's like, you know, when there's just an unusual, unexpected representation.
Yeah.
I loved that she was like, he was like, I just wanted to check since, you know, you don't have sex regularly to see if you're like on birth control. And
Mhm.
she is. She's on birth control for her terrible periods.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that.
Relatable
Like,
content. Am I right?
Absolutely relatable content. Even when I thought that I would never touch a penis in my entire life.
Absolutely.
Boy, that birth control was my friend.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of five-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
In the middle of it, they get a phone call and shit
Oh,
has
yeah.
gone sideways.
There's like an event. It's not a bad thing, but there's like an event that he has to be present for in LA.
No, something
No.
bad happens because there was the concert that they needed to be back that Thursday for.
Oh.
But dude sends a helicopter to
Oh.
get them to handle something.
Anyway, okay, yeah. So they have to go back to LA pronto. He sends a helicopter. We never find out. Sabrina and I never find out
don't-
what happens. Maybe another reader would find out, but we
Yeah,
didn't.
another reader might know exactly what the emergency was.
I have read this book 3 times though, and I didn't know this happened. So
It was an emergency because they had plans to go back because they needed to
Yeah.
be back for his show. This was an emergency situation, and
maybe it was a Jimmy situation because
I'm wondering,
Jimmy
I'm
is
wondering
on
if
the
it
road
was
to
a Jimmy
rehab.
situation because he is not doing so hot.
He is struggling with substance
So,
abuse disorder, substance use
they-
disorder,
Get back, and it's kind
and
of a
he's
zippy.
nervous. He's nervous. She's nervous.
Yes.
It's weird.
Well, it's also because like they're doing. I'm not gonna say they're doing so well
But
in these circumstances, but like they're about to go from a low stress circumstance where they're together
yeah,
to a high stress circumstance where we'll see.
we'll see
you know?
what happens. Yeah. Well, and at the door, Margaret is there looking fucking gorgeous, and she is staring like daggers at Ev. And Ev is like, I don't get what this bitch's damage is, you know? But Mal plays interception and is like, help me get breakfast, and takes her away. So they end up going back up to their room, and they do shower sex stuff. He's very actively being like, we are together, and this is how we are together in this space. He keeps calling it their bedroom, their house,
Mhm.
like all that kind of thing. And then it's time to go to concert
No,
situation.
it's not.
No,
It's
how?
not because they have a situation
'Kay.
where they're in the shower and they're having a moment and he's teasing her and he says to her,
Oh, yeah,
I
this is
thought you
shower
were in
times.
love with the shower. And
Yes,
she
yes.
says, no. And he says, you sure? I'm pretty sure I remember hearing you say it. And she says, David, for fuck's sake, I'm in love with you. And then he freezes.
And she freezes.
Trip knuckle deep
Yes.
in her. And then they end up having like some.
And then he just like
really...
tosses her against the wall because that's how he's going to show her how he feels instead of saying anything back.
Yes. And so afterwards, they're snuggled up in bed and she says to him, I said I was in love with you. And he says, people say stuff during sex. It happens, because he's giving her an out. And she says to him, I am in love with you, I said, feeling awkward, the same as when I'd said I trusted him. Because at one point, listener, she told him that she trusted him and he didn't reciprocate. And she's like,
he says, that's a beautiful thing to say.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, he says that's a beautiful thing to say to this. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, it's something like that.
And so this is the second time. And Ev, you're in the wrong here.
Why?
You don't get to be mad at him.
She's not. I mean, she feels weird about it, and that's understandable. She's not mad at him.
Oh.
She's just saying, like, I'm feeling vulnerable and I'm feeling weird, and I keep on putting myself out there, and he's showing me in a lot of ways that he might be on the same road.
I guess mad isn't the right term, because you're right. She's not angry.
No.
I don't know. This is, for me, specifically a very sensitive topic, where this idea of you saying it and then
requires a response.
And not only that, like, it's clear that the rest of the book, to me anyway, like, this just adds up to the reasons that she doesn't believe him, doesn't trust, like, it adds to the cracks in this whole situation.
For sure.
And it's like, girl, y'all known each other for 72 hours.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, he has trust issues.
And she was just saying, like, Lauren told her on the phone, you're in love with him. And she was like, what? No. What? No. And now she's like totally on board. I mean, this is her character in a nutshell, right?
It is, though. You're
happens.
Right.
She gets confronted with something. She freaks out. She thinks about it for 5 minutes. And she's like, actually, this is my life now. Yeah, totally.
You know what? You're right. This actually does track extremely. But yeah, you're right. So now it's concert time. It is her first time seeing him play live.
She's in those slutty clothes that Margaret got her. She's pretty excited about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He puts his leather jacket around her because she's nipping out real hard. And he's like, hey, how do you feel about me feeling you up in public? And she's like, no, that's the out of bounds. And he's like, yeah, okay, that's so I figured. So he goes to take her into the dressing room for like relative privacy. And there Jimmy is, legs splayed, and Katrin, the brunette from earlier, who was all over David, is blowing Jimmy real hard on that bench. And so, and Jimmy, like, he has a full conversation with them. He's like, oh, hey, Ev, good to see you. And David's like, you're so gross. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, I know you're acquainted with Katrin. And then as he like grabs her hand and goes out, in the background, all she hears is as he like goes like the dramatic conclusion of the beach. Hate it.
Everything about this is heinous.
I hate it. But now she's like, okay, that was fucking weird and really unsettling. But also his reaction.
I cannot wait for Jimmy's book.
I know.
God. I think my favorite part is that, just based on this book, this is a single point of view, listener. We're in Evelyn's head the entire time, which makes me suspect the rest of the series is also going to be that way. So I can't wait to see his heroine and have no idea what's happening in his weird little brain.
I mean,
no clue what's happening in that noggin, and I know I'm going to have questions.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have lots of questions.
God damn it. But when they leave, it's clear that David is like unsettled overly much, like more than the situation really calls for, especially since this is pretty much Jimmy's modus operandi as far as she's concerned. Every time he's talked to her, he's hit on her. Like, he's gone in between insulting her and hitting on her, like pretty much 50-50, you know?
Yeah.
And so she's like, I can't figure out why he's so upset about this. Also, earlier, listener, she noticed that he's wearing 3 earrings, 2 of which are like really rock and roll, you know? They're like silver and it's a skull. And then there's like a tiny little diamond in one of his ears, but not in the other one. And so she's like, okay, that's weird. And she asks him about it, and he says like, oh, they're just like stupid earrings. Blah. So now he asks Margaret the bitch. I love her. He asks Margaret to look after her. And Margaret's like, yeah, no problem, David. Anything you need.
David,
What is this family all about? What is this life? What are these choices?
Anyway, I honest to God don't have words.
No, I know. So they're standing off to the side, and Margaret's like, you know, I've known him for a really long time. And Ev's like, that's nice. She's just like not going to rise to the bait. She literally says, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically Margaret is telling her like he's an artist, and so he goes big, and like a lot of his decisions don't really mean anything in the long run. And then she very purposefully puts her hair behind her ear, and one of her earrings is like kind of weird because everything else is like gaudy and big and expensive, and then there's this teeny tiny little diamond.
And she realizes, this lady,
hold on, why do they wear the same necklace? Why do they wear the same earrings?
The ex that he bought the house for, who cheated on him.
She hasn't really, but she's like, uh-oh, this is fishy. It seems like this might be X. And when the set's over, Margaret's gone. She's disappeared. And so she is like toddling around in her goddamn stilettos.
By the way,
yeah.
Is her name Margaret?
Is it not?
Isn't it Martha?
Is it Martha? Is it Martha the bitch?
I think it's Martha.
Well, look at the book, man. I did audio. I cannot be held responsible for what comes out of my mouth. Is it Martha? It's basically the same thing as Margaret, though, you know? Are you Googling Martha or are you Googling Margaret?
It's Martha.
God damn it. Knowing names in 2025. Okay.
Well, I even have the name Martha in my notes.
I just said it with such enthusiasm.
You said
so
it
much conviction.
Yeah, and
I gave her a title, Margaret the Bitch.
It's been known. I've been known to put the wrong name in notes, and so
sure,
I was
but you're
like,
way more reliable than this guy.
Well, but all of a sudden, I was like, hang on. Usually, if I do put the wrong name, it's not a consistent through the entire book. It's the wrong name, and then I was like, please hold.
Listen, Mags the bitch is here. And so when she gets back to the dressing room, Jimmy's outside with their manager talking, and then she goes into the dressing room situation, and there's like another room where the door is ajar, and she can hear David's voice coming out of there, but she also then hears Margaret's voice. Yeah.
And when she tries to go in there, Ben stops her. And he's
Ben,
like,
who she's never met before.
You shouldn't go in there.
And she's like, I'm going to go in there. And he's like, I'm so sorry. She's my sister. And you didn't. This is when it's confirmed. He says, you don't know what they were like when they were together. They've always been crazy about each other. And Mal says, you're a really nice girl, but like, she's my sister. So I'm going to go ahead and block you. But she picks up her foot and she kicks that door in, and when the door opens fully, they are suckerfish mouth connected on each other.
Oh my god. And
Martha
then he handles
and David
this in the stupidest fucking
this is
way.
Colossally bad.
I get that right now he is emotionally high because of the Martha situation. This is bringing all of that up and all of these things. But she is rightfully pissed, and she's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And he pulls back, and he's like, this isn't what it looks like. And she's like,
okay, tell me what it is
okay.
then. Tell me what it is. What's happening?
And he won't tell her.
He says no.
He says no.
I'm so sorry. What?
And she does the only reasonable thing, and she's like, okay, you tell me, or I walk out. And he's like, and instead, he immediately goes into, you can't, you said you wouldn't leave.
You
and
promised me you wouldn't abandon me. And she's like, I mean, you promised me you wouldn't cheat. So
they literally on page have that conversation about not cheating in the kitchen when they're coming up with the rules about their thing, because it turns out the reason that the cheating is so fucked up,
so fucked up.
It turns out, so they've been together for years at this point, and the band is touring in Europe somewhere at this time, and she goes back. She's in California.
She's stateside. Yes.
Because she's not touring with them. They had just started hitting it big. Jimmy goes back
for an
to
appearance.
Do an appearance, and they hook up.
She fucks his brother. And his brother
fucks his girlfriend.
And so now she's like, okay, this makes so much more, like, she doesn't know this yet. She finds it out later. But, like, it makes sense that every time Jimmy is now hitting on or getting blown by a lady that was romantically interested in him, he gets a little thrown off. But anyway,
this is
what the fuck?
Unforgivable.
I mean, and then he, like, hires her as his PA.
I think that's the thing that
keeps the band together. I don't understand.
To keep Ben, maybe? Like, I honestly couldn't tell.
All of these choices are wild.
Every almost the only person in this entire book that I can look dead in the face and be like, yeah, I get you, is probably Lauren and or Nathan. No, not Lauren even. Nathan, maybe.
Not Lauren. Nathan should be way more concerned, but he's just like dipping his wick in her
it's
best
also
friend.
not a Nathan. Sam. Sam is the only person in this entire
Sam will save
book.
us all.
Sam.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
And to be clear, I'm going to finish reading this series with
then
these
he ends up with Martha the bitch.
mess motherfuckers.
Yes.
I can't
more.
wait.
Shovel it with a spoon.
Yeah, but like, I could not.
Don't understand.
Me.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay, I'm serious. Like, I can't do this. And he's like, you promised. And so also so relatable. She's like, if I'm running away, I'm not going to do it uncomfortably. So she takes off her stilettos and just like puts them down and leaves the dressing room without shoes on, goes up to Adrian and she says, I want to go home. Adrian's over the moon. He needs this relationship to be over. He's so smarmy. And I also don't know how we redeem Adrian or like if he gets fired or something. Like Adrian's the worst. So
what do you mean redeem? Does Adrian have a book?
No, but I mean like how am I to spend more time with him on the page? I ask you, Sabrina. Why would I want to do that?
I don't know. He'll probably end up doing something. Either Kylie Scott redeems him somehow or attempts to redeem him somehow, or he does something gross and fucked up in a different book and gets fired.
Yikes.
I'd be okay with him being that.
Me too. So he's like, hey, Sam, take this girl back to Portland. You know where she lives. Safe travels. And then as she's leaving, Jimmy is cackling. He's so blown over by the fact that David's getting left again. And then he collapses.
He's also high.
I mean, he's on very many substances.
Yeah, this is not the Jimmy. This is what I keep reminding myself.
Yeah.
This entire book is the Jimmy that we have met is not.
It's not the real Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's not Jimmy. Like
Absolutely.
we are meeting a version of Jimmy, but I think that the Jimmy we meet at the very end of this book for like 3 pages is the Jimmy that is going to be his book.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, the biggest reason that I am having an issue with his redemption is because he wasn't deep in substance use disorder when he fucked his girlfriend.
We don't know that.
We do. He says that Jimmy wasn't always like this at one point.
We don't know that.
No, we do, because he says in their conversation at that point he was just drinking. Like he was drinking a bit, but like it wasn't bad.
Oh, okay.
We do know that for fucking sure. Yes, he was altered every once in a while, but like he wasn't on multiple drugs plus alcohol plus great beaches. You know what I mean? Like that'll really kick it to the next level is what I've heard.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, Sam takes her home and Sam is just like this stoic, like just pillar of strength.
It's very clear that he does not agree with not what Evelyn is doing, but with what literally everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Sam is the fly on the wall going, oh, these dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah. I gotta keep these assholes safe. They do write a really nice paycheck, is what he says. And he really likes them too, I think. He also really likes these dumb fools.
Yes.
Anyway, so then, but also he refuses to call her anything but Mrs. Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be notable because that's loyalty. All right. That's loyalty.
Yeah.
So he takes her home. When she gets there, her brother is going down on Lauren in the kitchen on the island.
Whoa.
Ma'am, sirs.
He has his head up her shirt. He's sucking on them titties because when she flips off the side of the table in horror, he does get caught.
Is that what it is?
In the shirt.
Okay, so like it's fine when you see your brother just doing nipple play.
They were
I guess,
Sabrina? On their way to it, but I just need you to know that this lady was not clit out. Okay,
right. Okay, that's
this
fair.
is not
that's
a
fair.
clit. This wasn't even
she was
tits
hooded
out
at that point.
This is not even tits out. Okay, because she does have a shirt on. Okay, she's not. She is well aware of what is going on, but it's not.
Also, I love
it's not
this.
Great. To be clear, it's not great.
I don't love it at all.
I am
horrified.
I am especially horrified because of like if I walked in on my sibling, we'd have big issues. You know, like if we have too much of an age difference that I would be like I can't even imagine. So it's not even like I'm flustered just thinking.
It's true.
About
it's true
because like some people who have like siblings that are their age. That's it. You know what I mean? Like you're both in high school and you.
That's the situation with Ev
like,
and Nate, but.
I know.
You want to know whose flabbers are not gasted? Evelyn's. Evelyn is like, so this is happening now? And they're like, yeah, it's not really an interesting story. And Ev's like, okay, yeah, cool. Mine is the most interesting story, and it's going to be for a while. So if we could debrief on that, that would be great. And so Nate just leaves the room.
Yeah, he does. And she's just kind of cool. She gets over it.
No, she gives Sam his leather jacket and she puts the ring in one of the pockets.
Yeah.
You fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch her have one conversation
days later.
And she's been depressed and miserable for all 28 days that we don't see.
And she can't even get away from it because everybody knows who she is. She just went back to working at the coffee shop. And so people keep coming into the coffee shop that she works at and like
asking for information about him, asking about the band, inviting her out, saying, can I get a taste of that magic rock star pussy? Like all of the above.
God, and this is what would happen.
Yeah, it's awful.
This is why I ask regular people
we gotta just lay low.
We just
you
gotta
know?
stay away.
That's
I
right.
don't-
We gotta stay in
we
our
don't-
lane.
We don't want to be in that line, especially like somebody like this who is such a. It's not just a niche thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're on the front of People magazine
Right.
in
I
shitty
hate that.
Polaroids. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be.
Also, this is when I got confirmation that she has in the 2010s body dysmorphia, because she spent 28 days, I guess, living on like lattes and sorrow, and she's wearing Lauren's jeans now.
Yeah,
And it's very
Lauren
clear that Lauren is a Barbie.
on page. Yeah, Lauren is described on page as being very, very slim.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
So everyone can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, that's not how
Later
that
on,
works.
somebody's going to tell her that they can believe that he left her because her ass is as white as Texas. What is the matter with everyone in the 2010s? I ask you.
I mean, to be fair, Mel, you and we've cultivated a certain circle
True.
and environment for ourselves, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, it's still like that.
I hate it. Ooh, I hate it.
It's
Yeah.
still like that.
Ugh.
Like, it's gross. But anyway, so
Okay, so one of her friends is like, we got to get you out of this sorrow ditch you've put yourself in.
yes.
We're going dancing tonight. And it's her lesbian friend.
Oh my God. I will say my
who-
biggest issue in this entire book is the weird fetishization of underage sapphics.
Yeah. At one point, he says, tell me the worst thing
David,
you've ever done.
Could you be any fucking grosser? And
Totally.
then also the fact that this is like
The worst thing
the
she's ever
worst
done.
thing she's ever done.
And I couldn't tell. I'm pretty sure she meant because, like, she felt like she used her friend in order to do this
I
experiment.
just took it as this is a secret that she was planning to go to her grave with.
That's fair, also. Yeah.
That's how I took it. But like even still, like I chilled out a little bit when she
Called him on it.
because I was about to text you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if she hadn't called him on him being
Yeah.
a fucking gross little shit, I was about to text him and be like, what the fuck are we reading? But she does. She calls him on it. And like, we've all heard these. Well, I guess maybe we all haven't. I've definitely heard these comments. But anyway, and because he's basically like,
He's like, why? That's not the worst thing. What? You're cheating. You're just telling me something that's going to turn me on.
And
I'm
she's
going to
like,
think about it in the shower next time.
But then she calls him out because she's like, yeah, 2 16-year-old girls making out. That's what. And he's like,
that's what gets you going.
and he's like,
Now that you say that, I'm going to age you up.
I'm gonna age you up, and it's gonna be a little bit more R-rated, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, David,
I hate it all.
you're a man of 2013, aren't you?
Yes. And this is the body dysmorphia of 2013. So now they're dancing, okay? And she's been talking about like him and insulting him all night. And like she decides that she wants to be a bi now. And that's her goal.
I was laughing at this so freaking hard. Like, where they're like, hey, 3 weeks ago you were gonna be in a convent. 2 weeks ago you were gonna be a lesbian. This
Mhm.
week you're bisexual. So like, it's nice to see that you're not like you're slowly coming out of hating all people and hating all specifically. There's no way to have this conversation without it being. This is a very gender essentialist way of talking
Oh, of
about it,
course.
but they're like,
yeah.
but yeah, they're like, you're getting to the point where you haven't completely written off a penis. And she's like, yeah, it's great. Here we are. We're going.
Here we go.
So she's dancing, and somebody, like, again, this is the second time. She has, like, a pretty respectful, fine dance where, like, she's clearly not going home with these people, but, like, whatever.
Mhm.
And she's just having a good time. And then somebody comes up, and she realizes how much she's missed, like, interacting with people, and, like specifically,
And
like,
touch.
physically. Yeah, she's touch-starved. And this person is like behind her, and she reaches up and she has her hands on the short nape hairs and having that time of things. And then the song ends.
And he
it's
says her
David.
name. He says her name, and she's like, I know that voice. It's David. He has cut his hair. He's grown a beard. Okay. And he's here to talk with her. And she's like, the fuck, dude? And he's like, we have to talk.
Dude, her friends are not into it. Her friend is like, I'm not letting you go anywhere with him. And she's like, no, I need to go have this conversation to at least like have some closure kind of thing.
So they go to an alley, which is where you should always go when you want to have really meaningful emotional conversations.
She is basically like, what the hell? Listener?
It's been 28 fucking days.
Listener. I'm going to give you the 3-sentence description of what happens in this alley. They walk out and she gets pissed at him for not coming after her. He says that he didn't come after her because he needed to figure out if this was actually real for him. They fuck up against the wall.
And then they fuck.
That's it. That's what happens at this alley. And then immediately he's like, oh my God, everything's fixed. And she's like, no, that's not what happened here. This is definitely not what happened here. I'm hurt. You didn't even call me. And he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, no, we're not. I don't even want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, she says, you had your chance to talk to me. And you told me that instead, if I left, I was nothing to you and that we were over. So like, get out. I'm nothing to you. And he's like, I said a bunch of terrible things that night. She's like, yeah, news flash. You hate him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like, I'm not doing this. And instead they go home. He like gets in a cab and takes her home. And you know what? I hated this because she keeps on like pulling away from him when he tries to touch her hand or whatever. And he will lean over. He says this multiple times. He's like, you'll let me inside your body, but you won't let me touch your hand. Sir?
Gag.
Do not question me. Okay? That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to ask someone. Anyway, she's
also
like,
in a moment of like high emotion.
Yeah.
Fucked in and that's a little out of character, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Anyway, it turns out he's in Portland to get her back and win her back. And how in depth do you want to go with all of this?
Look, they do a bunch of like, will they, won't they? He's like, I live here now. She's like, I don't believe you. And then the most important thing in the entire book happens, and that is that Margaret shows up to her coffee shop one day.
Okay.
Oh no, Martha, fuck. And so Martha is like, we need to talk. And she's like, oh, I really don't think we do.
It turns out that Martha just kind of always thought that they were destined. They were going to end up being together. This was like, she did this so she could sow her wild oats. She was going to, like, he could sow his wild oats.
And then she could get him back anytime she wanted because, like, he still wore the earring. He still had the house. Obviously, he was still in love with her.
But she realized that it's all over because he has never changed his life for her the way that he has for Evelyn. And Evelyn's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean he changed his life? And she was like, he sold all of his houses down in LA and lives in Portland now. They're
the Monterey house is gone.
And Ev's like, What?
They're recording. The whole band is in Portland at some shitty studio down the street instead of like the highest tech studio in anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and then Martha does her little mic drop.
She said,
and
can I tell
leaves.
them what she says?
Yeah, go.
'Cause it's one of my
please.
favorite things in the whole wide world. She says, like, they're in that shitty studio, and then she goes, that's me, done. Gets up and leaves, just like sauntering down the street. That's me, done. Out.
I'm
Martha,
very
out.
excited. I'm excited for Martha's book.
And I'm really excited to see like her transformation because I read the description of that novella and it was like Sam's the, steadfast blah. And then, Martha's the spoiled princess or something like that. And so I'm thinking that like she's got a redemption arc too. I mean, Sam would never be with anybody who sucks, Like Sam is too wise and hot and stuff. Right?
Sure, Melody.
Anyway, so she then runs to the recording studio.
Being wise and hot obviously means that you never make questionable partner decisions.
That's what
It's
I've
fine.
heard. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's why. What does that say about? Anyway,
so she goes there and she's like, holy shit, the whole band is there. This is where Jimmy comes up and he's like, hey, hello, my name is Jimmy. I don't think we've met before because I am my actual self now. And I've never been a brother-in-law before, but like they can be really useful and I'm gonna prove that to you. And she's like, okay, Jimmy. He's like, all right, cool. See you later. And then he's also the one who called Martha to get her to like fix it. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so then after that, she invites him to have dinner with her parents. Her parents do the big like she's gonna be an architect.
Well, and she has started questioning if she wants to be an architect, and she realized like way back at the beginning of the book when they first were up in Monterey, because he's like, it doesn't even sound like you want this. This just is the path that was set forth for you and you're following along. And she's like, oh shit, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And so she brings that up to them and it all implodes. Her parents
it blows up.
Not cool with it. And
David just stands by her side and says he'll support her through anything, whatever she needs. She says she's going to pay her parents back for all those monies that she wasted on architect school. And then Nathan, her brother, says, hey, you forgot to tell her that while she makes this decision, you're still going to love her afterwards and support her no matter what she chooses.
I loved Nathan for this.
Same. Because then both parents are like, what? Of course she knows that. And he's like, no, she doesn't. Why do you think she fell in line for so many years? And then she's like, actually, I don't. Yeah, he's right. I don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's like, you should leave and like let us know after you think about it more.
Yeah. Anyway, so
they're together now. And he's like, you're moving into my house, right? And she's like, actually, I totally am. And I'm going to be a barista. I love being a barista.
Yeah, like she wants to stay there. It's perfect timing for everybody at the shop. It just kind of all works out. I'm excited to see. I think we'll see them a lot as side characters in the rest of the series. So I'm kind of excited to see how they evolve. This was
it was a compulsive read. It was a compulsive read, yes.
It was a compulsive read.
I enjoyed read. I had to be talked off the ledge about purchasing book 2, all right?
Yes, you did. You did. I understand why this book gets recommended all the time as a rock star romance. It was fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, totally.
No hurts.
Same. All right, Sabrina, what's your lady love?
My lady love is having my car back.
Ooh.
I don't have any more planned or unplanned. Not that you can plan for unplanned, but I kind of can because I've had the same car issue every time I've driven to Lafayette in the last 2.5 years at almost exactly 190 miles into the drive. And nobody can figure out, and back, by the way, it's 190 miles there and my car does the thing and then it does it on the way back and it never pops up as a problem other than that.
Oh,
so
boy.
While I was down there, I got some work done. When I got back, I had my transmission serviced. And then after that, I got my fuel injector replaced at I have just so much has gone into this car. And my lady love is my freaking car. It is a 2010. It is old. I don't want that car payment. And it drives. I won't know if the issue is fixed until the next time I have a long drive. But until then, I can pretend. And boy, it drives like a brand new fucking car right now which it better after how much money I've dumped into it. But boy, I got the behind the wheel of that thing yesterday when I grabbed it from the mechanic, and I was like, oh, this is nice.
Amazing.
And I just forgot how nice it is to drive something that is just, it works. You know what I mean? Like it's not waiting on the power.
The power.
The power of like a freshly serviced V6.
Love it.
Made me really happy. I love to drive, and so it's nice having a pleasant vehicle to drive again. Even though I drive, twice a month. It's fine.
Yay.
What's your lady love?
My lady love is using walks as like a time killer. So I had to have my license renewed, and I had to go into the DMV the other day in order to do it because they like needed a new picture or like the real ID. I don't even know what it was, but they were like, you can't do this online. So I was like, okay. And I made an appointment, right, at noon, and I thought, great, I have an appointment at noon. But it is the DMV, and so that was just an appointment to check in before they had me wait for, 45 minutes outside before they could call me into the building to wait in a different line in order to like do something else, right? So I was like, man, I guess I'll go sit in my car. And then I decided, no, this is a really huge, almost like deserted parking lot. And so I just did laps around that building and around that parking lot the whole time. And it felt so good to like use that time for movement and reading, because I was reading an audiobook too. So yeah, just kill some time by walking. It's better than sitting, I guess, is my lady love.
That's so fascinating too.
I'm also trying to get like 6,000 steps a day, and that's hard right now.
I support you. I love you. I'm just, as somebody who hates to be vertical.
Yep.
Fully vertical. You know what, Mel? I love that for you.
Thank you.
I love that for you.
It felt really good. Okay.
I will say, I prefer walking to standing. So I understand. I would rather, if I had to choose between, if I have to be vertical, I'd rather be walking. So I can understand that.
Yeah. All right. Keep being a badass and love yourself as much as you love this band with no sartorial rules. Love this suit next to a grunge, next to a boat shoe band. Because that's what happened.
As much as you love headcanoning the rest of the fourth band members.
Yes, that's how reading is done best.
I was gonna say, love yourself as much as you love Sam. We love Sam.
Yeah, he's a big beefcake of stoic.
Actually, you know
awesome.
What? Love yourself as much as
you love Margaret the bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Martha. Who knows?
Fuck.
No, really, it's love yourself as much as you love your dramatic news not being that big of a deal and really being any splash in the pond, because the person who would be most dramatic about it probably has too much shit going on.
That's right.
You are just, you
too
are
distracted.
so low on the list of priorities right now. You really slid that one in, Lawrence.
True, you really did. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you for joining us for this rockstar ride. We'll be back next week with more giggles, snorts, and swoons. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomespodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you next week.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.